So we got some big Rell Seas Movie 2 news. Not only did we get a list of things confirmed for Rell Seas Movie 2, we also got to see a bunch of the bosses coming and a bunch of the sword gameplay. And by sword gameplay, I mean actual sword skill gameplay, because obviously we've already seen swords before, but we got to see what the skills are gonna look like. And we also got some more information on the hunger system and the hunger bar, so there's a lot of information today, so definitely stay to the end. And I also want to talk about when Rell Seas Movie 2 will most likely release, because we actually have a pretty good estimation, I think. But without further ado, hit that like and subscribe button. We're almost at 25k, and let's get straight into the video. So in the first Rell Seas movie, we didn't actually see any sword skills, and they finally showed us some. And now in the Rell Seas movie, you could see in the bottom right that Kiribachi had 3 skills, and I'm pretty sure all the other weapons had 3 skills, so I would expect all weapons to have about 3 skills. But if you notice in that image, there's also a blue bar. We don't know what that bar is for. I'm thinking it's like an ultimate bar or something. And if you guys also look at the sword at the start of the clip, you can notice a little pattern on it. I'm pretty sure that's the same pattern from Shisui on Zoro's sword. And what's really interesting to me about that is that means Shisui has skills. So how is that exactly gonna work? Are the swords gonna have separate skills and you could get a fighting style with it? A lot of you guys probably know in games like GPO, for example, you have swords that are meant for like one sword style, but you also have separate swords which are like Bento, which have skills but they can't be used for one sword style. So I'm assuming in Rell Seas, swords can be used for both. I'm assuming they have their own separate skills and you could use them with the fighting style. Or I guess it's also a possibility that that was a one sword style move, because I would assume Shisui, which is one of Zoro's swords, is able to use 1 sword style, 2 sword style, and 3 sword style. Now we also got this Bento clip, and this Bento clip is kind of crazy and it leads to a lot of things. Obviously the guy gets flung across the map and it looks like it's one move. I've seen people say it's multiple skills, but I think it just is one skill. If there are ultimate skills, I would assume that is one, because that move is kind of crazy. He gets launched like a million miles away. I seen one of Dream Chaser's comments where somebody actually said that he thinks it's like Strongest Battlegrounds, where the lower HP you are, the further you get sent. And I actually think this makes a lot of sense, because they actually openly said they do play the Strongest Battlegrounds, so it would be something that they might have picked up from the Strongest Battlegrounds. And also just in general, otherwise, if they're high HP getting sent that far and I have to chase them across the map, that would be ridiculous and crazy. So I'd assume they wouldn't put something like that in the game. Y'all are gonna call this glaze, because y'all just run with the word glaze and say anything is glaze, even when you're just objectively talking about things. But I do believe you could give the Rell brothers the benefit of the doubt in terms of gameplay designs that we don't fully understand, because they've done a really good job so far. And this is what I be talking about, because y'all gonna go, damn, nah, you just glazing. Like, think about it logically. If they make 90% of the decisions correctly, you probably could give them the benefit of the doubt. That's all I'm saying. But I guess we just gotta wait and see. I also do want you guys to notice he does use a Gura skill with Bento. I don't actually think that is a Gura skill. I think it's just one of the Bento skills. And if that is the case, that most likely means that's gonna be a common thing for most of the weapons. Like NL staff, for example, that's most likely gonna have some sort of lightning moves. Now at the end of this clip, they actually confirm some of the things that are gonna be in movie 2. Exploration, ship combat, weapons, fruits, and no yapping. Y'all was really on their head calling them the yapping bros and everything. It's funny, but at the same time, I feel like it was blown a little out of proportion. But either way, it's gonna be better next time. It's gonna be clean, no yapping, they said. They also said on Twitter that they're gonna show Haki, and I believe they also said they're gonna show their reworked ship system, or not reworked, but like finalized, because it wasn't done completely before. And I know some of y'all are tired of seeing the ship system, but I actually think they're gonna show some good things. For example, we'll probably finally get the furniture placing system, where you could place furniture and whatnot on your ship. And I forgot exactly what they said, but in the Rell Seas movie, they said something that made it seem like the crewmates could fight back, so that could also most likely get showcased. They also did say on Twitter Haki will be in the second Rell Seas movie, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Haki as well. So a lot of things are getting showcased. I believe there's gonna be a lot more showcased in this movie, but it is gonna be a lot less yapping, so I think the movie will be about like 30 to 45 minutes, still a bit shorter because they're gonna cut a lot of the yapping. To be honest, I can't be the only person that hopes they still do keep the yapping in or the explanations in, but just put it at the end so people that just want to see the highlights can see that and then click off the video, and the people that want to see the explanations can go and watch it at the end. Obviously this would make the movie a lot longer with all their explanations and having all the highlights and whatnot, but I don't think that's a problem. People could just click off the video. Next, we got a lot of new bosses that are going to be shown in movie 2. We got Moria, and if you notice, Moria's hair is black, not red, so I assume that's for copyright or something. They did show the Moria model before this, and it was, I promise you, it was red hair. I know a lot of people are concerned about copyright be right, but I'm pretty sure that's literally all they need to do is change the name and change the hair color a bit, and they should be alright. And if we're also looking at ores, we finally have a full body picture of ores, and that's actually a really good thing because now we could compare how big he is to a human. Rell did say that a player is about the size of 2 toes of ores, which is actually crazy looking at how big this creature is. I've seen some people hoping that you can solo bosses in Rell Seas, and I don't know how likely it's gonna be when bosses are that stupidly big. I mean, normally big equals powerful. Not in One Piece, actually. If you're big in One Piece, you are sorry as hell. Okay, not really the stupidly big people like Ors, Big Mom, Kaido, but like the medium big people. So I guess realistically, Ors should be OP as hell. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Those like medium big people that be getting one tap by Luffy and stuff, like Coliseum and things like that. But regardless, how do you guys feel about being able to solo bosses? I don't mind it if it's super difficult to do and maybe you have to learn all the patterns and pretty much flawless it. Me personally, I like group fights where everybody has to kind of work together to take down a boss. So I do think if you are able to solo a boss, it should be close to impossible or just extremely difficult. Now, we did also get some other bosses, and I think some of them are non-canon, like this chicken boss, and there's also a pretty mantis boss. I don't believe those are canon. Maybe they are, if you guys could tell me in the comments, but I can't remember them personally, and I really don't have a problem with that. It does show that there's going to be a lot of bosses if they're adding non-canon bosses already. There is a Blue Gory as well, and I don't know if Blue Gory is going to be a boss, but maybe, because they did say they're all bosses, I guess. But I'm pretty sure in the show, Blue Gory was not even close to a boss. The Rell brothers also showed us a potential UI rework. They didn't say this is final, but they obviously are changing it. And if you notice, there's some new bars here. There's an orange bar in the left and a blue bar in the middle. And that blue bar in the middle is also the same color as that sword bar that used to be in the bottom right. So that's potentially either a water bar or a bar for, what is it called? A bar for the sword ultimate or something. Now the shades do look slightly different, so I am thinking it's most likely a water bar. So there'll probably be a food bar, which is the orange bar on the left, and a water bar. Now, assuming this is a hunger and thirst bar, how do you guys feel about that? Because me personally, I'm normally not a very big fan of it. Normally, hunger in game just feels unnecessary and doesn't feel like a real mechanic, but obviously they're trying to make cooking a big thing in this game and fishing and whatnot, so maybe I won't end up minding it at all. It's gonna make the game feel more realistic, but at the same time, I hope they don't overdo it where you need to eat like every 4 seconds, and I hope food isn't too scarce if that is the case. Obviously, there still needs to be an incentive to be a high-level cook, so I would assume there would be some sort of buffs for people that are high-level cooks compared to people that are just eating like basic food. Rell also made a statement saying heavy weapons have weight. The combat isn't slow, the combat is balanced for every ability, and weapon class has an advantage and a drawback. Can't wait to see the builds people create. And this was interesting to hear because the thing about the weapon classes is a little confusing to me, and it's mainly because of the quick draw mechanic. You can literally pull out a different weapon mid combo, so are you really restricted to having one weapon class? Not really, right? So let's say, for example, heavy weapons do more damage. Why wouldn't I just use a weapon to get the first M1 and then switch to the heavy weapon and then get a bunch of heavy damage from that? Obviously, that's just an example, and I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work, but I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of the quick draw mechanic yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, build diversity is a good thing, so if it leads to that, that is a good thing. And also, the heavy weapons definitely do have weight. Even if you look at the Kirabachi, you could definitely feel it. But that's about it for today. If you want to claim your before 25k card, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It appreciates the channel a lot. What am I talking about? I appreciate it a lot, and it helps the channel a lot. And also, just so you guys know, if you guys want to drop other suggestions for other games, I'd appreciate it, because obviously we're on a crazy Rell Seas streak right now. I really don't know what else you guys want to see me post, so let me know. Not a lot of games right now. I'm sure you guys want to see Holy War, but besides Rell Seas and Holy War, not a lot, so definitely let me know in the comments. I love y'all. See y'all later.